some people might raise an eyebrow and say, well, maybe black metal isn't meant to be polished, it's meant to be raw, and you're meant to be in the forest and all that stuff. But
Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Belgian Jasper. If this is your first time in the channel, hit subscribe right now. Okay, Cameron, thank you so much for your time today. I really do appreciate it. As we're talking, we are now almost exactly 1 week away from the release of the EP. So my first question has to be, how are you doing? I know that this is not your first rodeo. However, this is the first time it's really your project that you really worked on that is being released. Are you able to relax and enjoy this moment a little bit, or are things getting a little nervous and excited?
Yeah, I mean, thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate you guys reaching out. But yeah, it's it's definitely exciting. Like it's really exciting having this project getting off the ground and getting the ball rolling. And the response has been really overwhelming, but also really encouraging.
You already said, a little overwhelmed with like the response. So walk me through that, because you worked with some friends of yours on material that you wrote. People record it. You kind of keep oversight. You start then releasing some of that into the world. You let go of your baby, and then people are reacting really well to that. Walk me through what that process was for you, because that was even if you are 100% sure that you created a really good product or good songs, it's always a little like, okay, what's the reaction going to be? Like, it can be a little scary to release that in the wild, if you will.
Yeah, honestly, I was really confident the material was of good quality. Mm-hmm. But you never know when you release something like this into the wild, what the reaction is going to be. If it completely slips under the radar, or if people like it. It's hard for me to be unbiased, because right. I think it's good quality. But it might sound a little egotistical to say that about my own work.
It's okay.
But yeah, it's real. Like I said, it's really encouraging and really nice seeing so many people having that reaction, and the music kind of having the effect I intended. Kind of taking those boxes and kind of being a revival of that style.
Yeah.
That I like, and I was hoping other people would kind of be craving. So it's, like I said, it's nice to see that it's going down well so far.
It is that 90s black metal, but there are some death influences as well, a little bit. I find that it pairs well with bands like Carnation, more modern bands. I think I know you're a Cal Decapitation fan as well. So yes, the core of this art is 90s black metal. But what are some of those bands that throughout this creative process that you've gone through that you feel like inspired you and influenced you, that are a little bit more current?
Yeah, you really hit the nail on the head. It's quite obvious that it's that late 90s, early 2000s kind of sound. And I think there's maybe a little bit of confusion, because usually when people talk about black metal, they talk about that second or third wave, or maybe like the rawer stuff. But this is more slightly after that. The dare I say, the cheesier stuff that was considered polished at the time.
Right, right.
So, and that's always been the stuff I've leaned towards, like the stuff that was a little bit more polished. And some people might raise an eyebrow and say, well, maybe black metal isn't meant to be polished, it's meant to be raw, and you're meant to be in the forest and all that stuff. But like you were saying, like some of the bands that I really drew influence from were Dissection, Dimmu Borgir,
yes,
obviously Dark Funeral, and then like some modern bands as well, like Cattle Decapitation, like you're saying, a lot of Carrick Gangren, and
Oh yeah.
Elmathrak, a lot of kind of crossover bands that kind of blackened death metal style as well. Because
Hmm.
I was a death metal kid and like a tech death head before I got
Okay.
into black metal, and I came back around because I only really got into black metal sort of, I guess, outing myself at like 2010-ish, like when the whole post
Okay.
black metal thing was kicking off. I got into Der Weg einer Freiheit, Alcest, Death Heaven, and then I kind of worked my way backwards.
Okay.
Um, you know, I I dipped my toes, with like Mayhem and Immortal and Gorgoroth, like when I was, a kid, and I kind of I struggled for a while to find the bands that really hit that sweet spot with me. But I think once I realized that my taste was more, that Swedish melodic black metal sound,
Yeah, yeah.
that's really when I knew.
Okay. Okay. So, I mean, just to confirm then, we shouldn't expect any music videos of you doing crab walks through a forest just yet.
I mean, there's definitely an element of tongue in cheek in the band. We are like it is self aware, but yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think so.
You're part of other bands as well. Everybody that's involved with you is quite experienced. And so the question that we have to ask when we see an EP like this being released with people that are all from established bands, whether or not those bands are very active at the moment, um, and everything is really the vision of one person. The question then arises: is this a band? Is this a solo project? What is it? And what is your aspiration for this new entity? Like, are we going to see you play a lot? Are you going to open the door to your bandmates to allow them in from a creative perspective as well? What's your thought there?
Yeah, there can definitely be a lot of hesitation or apprehension when these things come around, especially from the perspective of one writer or a solo project. But
Right.
like you're saying, I wrote the EP by myself. It was kind of it is still very much my baby. It feels weird to say, but it's true. It's a
Of course.
celebration and an amalgamation of everything I like, be it music, films, video games. It's kind of a package of like dark fantasy and all that good stuff. But yeah, I thought about this a lot, and I guess my definitive answer is it started off as a solo project, and I got in guys from other bands I was in to kind of serve as session musicians.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think it's gotten to a point now where we're a really strong band unit, and I really couldn't have done without those guys. And I think I'd be foolish not to have those guys input going forward. So we're talking about writing something collaboratively for the next release.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, um, I know that you've been working on this EP for quite some time, or at the very least,
Yeah.
writing for some time. So you had a collection of songs that probably also evolved over time, but that you were sitting on for quite some time. Um, Throughout that journey, there are 5 songs on this EP. Did you write more? Like when you talk about, the next release, whether that's another EP or a full album, you say like we want to be a little bit more collaborative. Does that mean that you have a base already that you want other people to contribute to, or are you kind of like, this is what I had, and we're starting with a clean slate moving forward?
There were a few riffs that didn't really make the cut, or a few riffs that I really struggled to expand on
Okay.
when I was writing the first EP. But it was kind of an on and off again process, kind of over lockdown. And then once I had the songs ready, it took me even longer again to get people together, like a producer, guitarists, a vocalist, and and also like figuring out for myself who I wanted on board and who was available. So that kind of pushed things back a bit. And then once we actually had the thing recorded, I didn't want to just self-release it, into the ether and for it to kind of fall under the radar, and
Right.
for something we worked on so hard just to disappear without the right promotion. So then there was a kind of a long period of sitting on it, trying to find the right record label. But yeah, like you said, we were sitting on it for a while. But I think we came to a breaking point, or at least I came to a breaking point where I said, we need some kind of calling card. People need a taste of
Right.
what we have to offer. So I threw together a very rough music video just on iMovie, like a lyric video, and Oliver from Black Lion, metal record label in Sweden, just sent us a message like, "Hey, are you guys looking for a home?" And I was kind of apprehensive, but once I did a bit of research, like I could tell, they were legit and
Right.
really passionate team with some great names on there as well. So yeah, it just made sense. So we signed up with them, and then that was really the springboard that got the attention that I feel like it deserves.
When you've had songs for such a long time, does that make it easier for you to remove yourself a little bit and look critical on the EP and go like, this is what I can't wait to play this one particularly live, or because it was so long, are you now so attached to them that like do you have a favorite song? Like, I've been listening to the EP. Path of Night probably is my favorite song on the record so far. Perfect celebration with Dissection sound and some Dimmu Borgir as well. Is that possible for you at all to look at your own art in that way, or is it like, no, I'm too close, these are 5 children of me and I can't pick my favorite?
Yeah, I think Dawn of the Infernal Age is definitely my favorite, just because it's just straight up aggression and just melody and hooks straight out of the gate. And just for me being the drummer, it's the most like gratuitous as well. Just blast beats straight out of the gate. So that's kind of my taste encapsulated. I still really enjoy playing this stuff because it's just an extension of me.
Right.
It's very different joining a band and learning someone else's parts and learning set list and albums, but just writing something which is what you would naturally play, kind of based off your own tendencies as a musician. It's a really nice feeling. So yeah, I still really love playing the stuff, and I enjoy rehearsing with the guys, or running through the songs by myself, and I love just bringing it live and seeing people's reactions to that stuff, because there is just something kind of raw and visceral there. Like, there's no frills, there's no question about what it is or what it isn't. It's a very obvious mission statement. But to answer your question, like, I still love it. I think the other guys in the band are very keen to get something new going and put their mark on the project and maybe advance the sound a little bit or experiment with sounds. Because like I said, we have been sitting on it for a while. So while to the outside it looks like, well, this is brand new and it's a new release. We've been sitting on it for a while. I'm still happy enough, but I know the other guys are getting a little bit antsy.
There's still a lot of time in 2023. So to wrap us up a little bit, help me understand what your hopes and dreams are for this year. Like, what can we keep our eyes open for? What can you share?
Yeah, we just want to play as much as possible and really just get out there, because that's what this project was made for, just to play big stages and festivals. We've done a handful of shows already. We're currently taking part in Metal of the Masses. It's kind of a Battle of the Bands thing to get playing Bloodstock. We've been confirmed for UK Black Metal Fest in October, and we've got some other stuff in the works that I don't think we can announce yet, but we're just trying to get as many shows under our belt as possible. So if there's any promoters or organizers watching this, hit us up. We're always keen.
like, you know, this is a cool release, and I really hope you get a chance to, in the craziness and the excitement of this first EP, that you can also just take that step back and enjoy it, because it will only happen once in your career, right? So amazing stuff. I'm excited for everybody to discover the full EP on April 7th. And I wish you guys all the best with the release cycle. Thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. And, you know, have a fantastic rest of the day.
Yeah, man. Thanks so much. You too.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.